Paul Craig called out Bo Nickel. Lots there. First off, did he mean it? Who cares? Who cares if he meant it? There's adrenaline. There's things that happen, right? Who cares? He said it. He'll back it. Paul being mad about it, whether he is thinking today there might have been a better way to play that or not. Secondly, there's nothing about the bookings of Bo Nickel up until this point that would lead you to believe he's going to get in there with Paul. I mean, he's getting booked in the opposite direction. His last match was literally the greatest spread in the history of the sport, or at least within the company of UFC. There had never been a spread. Was it 24-1? Is it 24-1? Is that what the number was? There had never been a match that had that big of a spread. So to take somebody from the biggest squash match ever booked for television to a match with Paul Craig would be a surprise. So what difference does it make? Now, if you ask me dream matches for Bo, and I have some real dream matches, I think that Bo's got the skills and has the ability, and the story and the rise and the legacy of Bo changes greatly each time they walk him out there. They don't agree with me. They think if they can walk him out there 5 more times before they put him into a title fight, that's better. I don't agree at all. We're not even remotely close to agreeing. If you could have brought Bo in off the Dana White Contender Series and put him in a title fight, that would be a way cooler, 10 times cooler scenario than doing it for 3.5 years and giving him a record like everybody else that ever had the opportunity. Now he's not different. Now he's not special. He's like everybody else, right? If anybody goes 3 years undefeated and puts 7 or 8 matches, they're going to go fight for a world title. There's nothing special about that. That was the miss and that was the mistake. If you, in fact, believe that he's that good, if he, in fact, has those skills. So, the Paul Craig match is not one that I would have made. If you turned to me, gave me the magic wand, said make something big for Bo, I would have done those things and it would have been Craig. I admit that. There's not going to be the hype. There's not going to be the build-up. There's something there that's amiss, and I can't tell you what it is. I'm a massive believer in Paul Craig. To let you guys know how good Paul Craig is, just by some off chance that you don't know, 2 guys have fought for world championships that have one thing in common. They both got finished by Paul Craig. 2 guys. Uncle Ive got to fight for a world championship. Paul Craig finished him. Jamal Hill got to fight for a world championship, oh, by the way, of which he won. Paul Craig finished him in the very first round. And I happened to be there for that fight. Where were we at, guys? Were we in Houston? Paul Craig goes right to his back. It's taken down. The basketball player takes him down. Like, you don't have to wonder if Bo Nickel can take him down, all right? Paul got taken down by a basketball player. Paul went to work. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This was some of the slickest, some of the fastest, the most relaxed, calculated, risk control. Paul went by the numbers. It was awesome. His jiu-jitsu against Jamal Hill, it was awesome. And I bring that to you because while that isn't the match that I would make, the X's and O's are very fascinating, right? Bo's biggest threat to anybody is I'm going to take you down. There's nothing you can do about it. That's his biggest threat to everybody. And that's going to frustrate everybody. That's going to be a feather of the cap of Bo, and that's going to be a concern in the heart of every single opponent except Paul Craig, who likes to be on his back. Now, does that change the fight? Does that give Craig some kind of a meaningful advantage? I'm not suggesting that for you, but maybe. Right? It certainly wouldn't hurt things. It would make things a little bit more compelling. If the biggest threat and the response, everybody else's response, well, I prepared for the takedown, I could stop you. That's everybody's response, except Paul. Which is, we can go ahead and just start the fight right there. It's that part is very compelling. It was also the right move by Paul Craig because they're not going to do the match. They're not going to do the match. And you do have the top guys who are blatantly scared, and they're hiding from Bo because they don't understand how this works. You're not going to have to do the match. You're much better off to call him out. I don't know if Paul Craig could have called anybody out and got me to make a video about it other than Bo. It was a very smart move. And the X's and O's of that match are very compelling. And Paul Craig deals with light heavyweights all the time. Down at 185 pounds, it's interesting, man. Paul's a very scary guy. He's a very capable guy. And it wasn't a fake call out. He'll do the match for sure. And he would be a problem in that match for sure. I was impressed by the whole thing. I liked the whole thing. I don't predict for you it's going to happen. It was the right move. And it was the right call out by Paul.